Hello everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. But before I start, I will give you a story. A story of a little girl. A little girl that grew up in the ghetto. This little girl read so many books. She loved reading. And she would read and read and read and read about life out of the ghetto. This little girl wanted so much to be part of that life out of the ghetto. And she refused to believe anybody who told her that she cannot or she could not achieve those dreams. This little girl will dream about traveling all around the world and meeting people. This little girl was taught so many times that it's not possible for her to get the things that she was dreaming about, for her to travel all around the world, because she lived in the ghetto where even to feed was such a problem. But this little girl knew something. She knew that education was very important, because the many people that she saw who had done so many things and were achieving so many things, they were educated. And so this little girl, no matter what anybody said to her, she focused on her books and she kept reading. By the time this little girl was 11 years old, she had no girlfriends. All her friends had been married off. And people mocked her and made fun of her because she was the one who was not married and was still going to school. This little girl refused to listen to anybody. She continued. She finished her primary school education. She finished her secondary school education. She went into university. At this time, her friends who were married off when she was 11, some of them were already grandmothers. But she focused and she kept going. And this little girl, when she got married at the age of 24, her friends, of course, were all grandmothers. But this little girl, now an adult, refused to allow anyone to talk her down. And she kept dreaming and she kept aspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, good day. My name is Aisha Yesufu, and I am that little girl. I am that little girl that refused to give up. That little girl that refused to listen to people that told her that it couldn't be done. The little girl that indeed dreamed dreams that were bigger than that of even her families. And I will tell you one thing that I heard so often when I was growing up. Ayi, emulwala. Meaning, ayi, what are you doing there? Ayi, are you giving birth in the toilet? I heard that so often while I was growing up. Why? Because indeed, truly, I would enter the toilet and would not come out, sometimes for even an hour. Because that was one place where I had freedom. Freedom to think, freedom to believe, freedom to aspire, freedom to dream, dreams that when I was not out of there, sometimes I was restricted in dreaming those dreams. And as I speak now, I see that particular toilet with the waters running down through it as things that are washed through passes the way. Just me, just sitting there and just dreaming of life out of the ghetto that I was born into. And even though the adults around me did not believe in those dreams, they were so held up and so defeated by the circumstances. And they were actually very hard circumstances around us. But I refused to give up. I refused to allow my reality to define who I was or who I will become. And I dreamed those dreams. And in the year 2014, my mom called me and she said, "Thank you for dreaming for the whole family." One person can dream for a whole family. One person can dream for a whole nation. One person can dream for a whole community. It's very important that we know that our dreams are very valid and we can go on not only to achieve what we want to achieve, but also to inspire others in the process of achieving what we want to achieve. And what Jim Rohn said, that if you want to set a goal, set a big enough goal so that in the process of achieving that goal, you become somebody worth becoming. One person can have those dreams. And I became that one person in my family, thankfully. And I was able to dream this dream and go on and refuse to give up in spite of everything that says that it cannot be achieved. Because indeed, like Mandela said, it's impossible until it's done. When it's done, it becomes possible. And today also, in our country, we can dream one person. I've seen people who come to me and say to me, thank you. Thank you for standing. Thank you for making us believe in Nigeria. And the same, I too, one person was that person for me, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. On the 30th of April 2014, when we did the first physical march for Bring Back our Girls, I saw a woman who stood when the clouds were forming, when it's almost about to rain and some people were turning back. She said to us, are we salt? Are we going to melt if the rain beats us? Do we know what our daughters are going through? And most people stayed behind. One person made that difference. And on that day, after the whole march, I went to her, I hugged her, and I said to her, thank you for making me believe in Nigeria. So one person indeed can make a difference. During the NSAS protest, a picture of mine went viral. When the police stood up and said they were going to shoot at the people, I stood and I said no. All the while before then, I was at the back because the NSAS protest was done by the youth. They were the ones in charge doing everything. Mine was there to be for moral support. And when the police came and sort of like had a formation, I had to come forward. And I raised my fist. And I said, if you're going to shoot them, then you have to shoot me. There are many people who say that particular picture, that video, the ones they saw, inspired them to come out. One person. I've seen people who have come to me and they have said that they've lost hope in Nigeria. But just seeing me there, refusing to give up, standing firm, being there and saying that indeed things can work if we all come together and put the work in. And they say that inspires them and they keep going. So remember that one person can make a difference and you can be that one person. Making a difference is not always about, oh, the whole world at once or the whole country at once. Just one-on-one. One person you will see, you will add value to that person's life, and that will go on. You will make a difference to one person. Before you know what's happening, you're making a difference to a community. Before you know what's happening, you're making a difference to the state. Before you know what's happening, you're making a difference to the country and the world. Indeed, one person can make that difference. And it's very important for us to always know that it always starts with one person. Staying on and being committed and refusing to give up. Knowing fully well that things can be. If we can dream it, we can achieve it. Even if we don't get to achieve exactly what we want, in the process of achieving it, we'll become people worth becoming, in the words of Jim Rohn. In the process of achieving it, we will learn so many things. And there are other things that we probably have never thought of, and then we will achieve those things. Life is not about giving up. Life is about going on in spite of the difficulty, standing it and keep going. And like they said, there are no bad weather, only bad clothing. Things might look very bad as it is right now. It might look as if it's going to be impossible. But if we keep going and keep pushing, we'll get there. And that one person will make a difference. And I hope you will see yourself as that one person that will make a difference. One person that other people will look up to, and they will believe in Nigeria. They will believe in a better world. They will believe that indeed humanity is worth saving. Humanity is worth fighting for. Humanity is worth standing for. At the end of the day, that we are all one. At the end of the day, that we all have goals. At the end of the day, that we all have dreams. And we can help each other achieve those dreams and get to where we are going. Thank you so much.